Hi guys, I'm fully on board with the idea of journalists holding ministers and the Prime Minister to account. It's their job to ask the important questions that are on the minds of the public, not to engage in fluff. Well, Beth Rigby of Sky News, it seems, prefers to ask dumb questions of the new Prime Minister instead of putting something that is of concern to ordinary people. She talked about the vote share, the first 100 days, and his feelings over the exit poll. Starmer dealt with all of these without breaking a sweat. Have a listen to this.
You have won a massive majority, but your vote share is quite low. It's much lower in terms of voter support than Blair in 1997. You talk about the mood of the country. I think you have some ideas as to why. Can you give us one concrete thing that you will promise voters you will deliver in your first 100 days to make them believe the change message? And if you'd indulge us, millions of people saw that exit poll drop. Some of them gasped. What was your emotion when you saw it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Look, the thing that's changed already is the mindset of government. It's a mindset of service, of country first, party second. That's not a slogan. That is the test for all of our decisions. So when submissions come to me from the Cabinet, when I've had to take decisions, which I've already had to, of course, the principle is country first, party second, and that's the driving principle. So that change has already happened. I set out before the election what our first steps will be. We've started work on those first steps. You've seen where Streeting made clear the steps he's already taking to resolve some of the issues that have been unresolved for some time, with a degree of raw honesty as well as to the state of being. So that's the mandate. That's how we go forward. And look, you know, in relation to the outcome on Thursday, it is a clear mandate. We argued for change. We've got that mandate, and we've got it in for all four nations, and that is really important for us as well. I was pleased to see that exit poll. I didn't believe it until, like everybody else, I stayed up to watch every single result come in, peppered with the speeches I gave, including the one at 5 a.m. at the event that we held. But it was only as the final results came through that I was confident that we'd got to where we needed to be to do the work that
Okay. Boris Johnson is no longer Prime Minister. We know how Keir Starmer speaks. We know how he responds to things. So actually treat him like the adult that he is. Why engage in these ridiculous questions? There are more important things to talk about. Now, I'll go through each of them, but then I'll also add questions that I think most people would prefer to hear asked. So, for example, the vote share. So the public don't care about that. And also, why was this type of question not put to Boris Johnson, for example, in 2019? The number of Tory votes increased from 2017 to 2019 by about 1.4%, but it resulted in 80 extra seats. But this question was never put to Boris Johnson or his administration. Now, the second one was about the 100 days. This, once again, is not something that people care about. They don't care about these arbitrary figures. They care about what is the vision for the future. What are you hoping to achieve in your administration? These are the important questions. And then feelings, your feelings about the exit poll. Look, we knew that Labour were going to win a massive majority. It was never really in doubt. I had mentioned a few caveats from time to time about maybe if something dramatic happens, the Conservatives could flip things, but it would be something out of the ordinary. But it was pretty much guaranteed that Labour would win a massive majority. It was really, the question was how much? Now, if I had been a journalist there, I would have asked something like, okay, what are you going to do about the NHS waiting list? You've taken over a disaster. How are you going to fund the reconstruction of public services? What are you going to do now going forward to deal with the cost of living crisis? These are important questions. These are the questions that the general public would like asked, not about vote share or the first 100 days or your feelings about the exit poll. Now, on the 100 days, there's very little a new administration can do within 100 days, apart from appointing people or setting out a plan or maybe setting up a commission. These are some of the things they can do, but they can't have real results in the first 100 days. It's pointless asking these questions. You know the answers to them. If it's about a bill can take years to get through Parliament. Now, with a massive majority, it can go much faster, but it has to go through the House of Commons, the House of Lords. It may come back and forth a number of times. There are a number of readings. These things take time. They're not going to be something that will be achieved in 100 days. But a new commission could be set up. A new commissioner could be appointed. These are things that can be done within 100 days. But they're not tangible things that people are going to see on the ground. They're political issues. They're things that maybe are stepping stones to achieve something concrete. But once again, ask questions that are relevant to ordinary people. What is your plan for the NHS waiting list? What is your plan to deal with the cost of living crisis? When can people start to see some change there? That would be a better question, I think. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.